Hello everyone, this is Ratchet 9. This is part 11 and the final part of Ratchet Clank Future, A Crack in Time. I'm on 100%. Last time we completed the final boss, we finally can, and we finally got all of the last gold balls, and we're gonna confront Vorslan one more for the final time. It's a little quiet here. Don't worry, we'll see them. Oh, finally, level 5. Mega Rhino 5. Yep, all weapons have been upgraded. It's not reaching. Okay. A battery bomb. Should be one more round. Yep, the last battery box. Indeed, I am smart. Alright. So how? Soon as the final battle with Borsalon.
I'll go back, Lordax. In anticipation of our battle, I've taken the liberty of upgrading my suit. Prepare for terror unlike you have ever known.
Is he always this dramatic?
Yeah, it's kind of his shtick. All right, Borsalon, let's end this once and for all.
Don't! Okay, let's try it again.
Welcome. I'll go back, Lordax.
Go, Master!
Your time has no place here. The universe is working on to resolve that. You think you can kill Lord Morphin? I heard about your victory over Tachyon. Now, you will not.
Okay. What's going on now? Yes! Finally, I made it.
Why? Let's just hope he stays dead this time.
Terraclone Assassin.
Pursuant to Solar Loser Protocol 71406, reactors have been set to overload. All remaining life forms, please prepare for annihilation.
All I have to do is escape now. Vanquish Lord Porcelain.
On the backwater planet of Veldin, little Timmy
Yep, Porcelain's ship is permanently destroyed. Well, that took a long time. Explore the Insomnia Museum. Yeah. And now that we defeated Porcelain for the last time, we can finally explore Insomnia Museum now. Insomnia Museum. Yeah, all I can. Yeah, this game does have an Insomnia Museum, but not in Tools of Destruction. But yeah. Insomnia Museum. Lobby. The Insomnia Museum. Welcome, very space traveler, to the fabled Insomnia Museum. Come inside, kick off your hover boots, and feast your eyes upon all that makes up the Ratchet universe. Lost levels, forgotten enemies, tantalizing videos, it's all here in one place. Ready to fuse your synapses into a tangled mess of smoldering goo. Wait, what? Oh, if I wanted to leave, sorry. Oops, sorry about that. Oops. I have to explore. I need to still explore this Sorry.
The Funkmaster, the Bass Blaster, the Audio Disaster, Discobot.
Ahoy, landlubbers! This is your old...
Service elevator. The Astrolab channels the time energy ribbons through the major components in the Great Clock. It forms a large centerpiece in the middle of the Great Clock with several large time ribbons extending from it to the buildings along the play area. When we re-enter the Great Clock after Clank's awakening, the Astral Lab is broken, spinning oddly, smoking and with broken time ribbons. When we return after Clank repairs part of the facility, it is fixed with fixed time ribbons attached. Time cleaners. Time cleaners are a natural denizen of the Great Clock. They were created by Orbis to be used as temporal energy eaters. You may have heard them refer to them during the recorded message to Sigma. While incapable of doing major time reconstruction, they are unfortunately for Clank able to devour and digest small temporal anomalies such as Clank's recorded self and his time bomb. In their non-aggressive state, time cleaners are a small, cute, playful creature. However, when alerted to the presence of an edible time anomaly, they swell up to a vicious eating machine. Is that Borsum? Extinct enemy? These creatures were a moon-specific race of squishy brain organism in powered suit. We were going to use the drop-in models from Tools of Destruction as the base. They would communicate telepathically whenever Ratchet approached them and used telekinetic waves to pull him in an attack similar to the trashes in the air in arena. Our character team was overbooked and we decided to go with our existing nefarious Agorian and feral enemies instead. Dice Crate. Dice Crate would cycle between ammo, balls, health, and no reward, and explosive states. If the player timed it right, they would get whatever they needed most of the time by striking it when the appropriate icon flashed up. Unfortunately, there were a lot of minor polish issues to address, and players couldn't really figure out what the symbols meant. It was a relatively low-cost interaction. You only got a few balls, a little health, or took a little damage, and ultimately we decided to cut it instead. I see, so they were supposed to be in the game. But not bad. Dimension Crate. Like other crate types, the Dimension Crate is triggered by damage being inflicted upon it. Once damaged, the crate implodes, then explodes into a frame large enough for Ratchet to walk through it. The inner part of the frame fills in with a portal to the bonus dimension, which Ratchet can see a preview image of. Stepping into the portal will warp Ratchet to a randomly generated bonus challenge. Completing or failing the challenge warps the player back to the portal in trend. If the player succeeds, the portal implodes. If they fail, they can jump back in for another try. Teleport floor. The nefarious Space Station original had a set of puzzle base around the security grid. If the player threw a time bomb, they'll be able to navigate a panel to the other side. In our focus test, lots of people were trying to jump over the panel, which wouldn't work, or repeatedly take the dead end path without watching where it went. If they made a wrong move, the puzzle would send them back to the beginning of the puzzle. This caused many players to throw their controls at us and show some horrible things we won't mention here. The difficulty in communicating the rules of this puzzle in a reasonable amount of time, as well as the numerous head injuries received as a result of throwing controllers, convinced us to cut the puzzle. Oops, I almost made it! Still wonder why the time bomb could be useful in that way. For a puzzle, after all. Babelhorn. The Babelhorn was a gadget used to hack through doorways by communicating with nefarious trooper. We also wanted the player to talk to some of them using patterns of flashing light. When we reached the implementation stage, we realized how much design work would go into creating all of these sequences. Since it's really boiled down to a timing-based minigame without the humor of the pirate hologeist and tools destruction, we ultimately decided it wasn't worth it. But yeah, things that were cut from the game. Phoenix Launcher. The Phoenix Launcher was based on the Predator missile from Tools of Destruction. Ratchet locks into enemies and these fiery bursts of prey would be released from the glove, circling around Ratchet's head. When Ratchet fires, all of the Phoenixes would descend on their targets in a fire explosion. While this weapon looked phenomenal on paper, it ended up not being a play favorite. It took too long for the Phoenixes to get into position, and from a gameplay perspective, they were exactly the same as the Predator missile. Hence, the decision was made to donate it to the museum and focus on polishing our other weapons. Shotgun Chuck was a submission to the Blaster Run's hot weapon design contest. While it didn't win the contest, it did win the heat. One of our character artists. This is a quick version of the whip of Just for Kicks. Razor Talon. The Razor Talon were ingenuously designed to cut through enemies in close quarters. They were based on Razor Claws from Tools of Destruction, but as we were nearing the end of their production, we lacked the time to add all of the cool attacks necessary to make this weapon fun. Therefore, we made a tough decision to cut the talons and focus more on our range arsenals. The Grab Spear. The Grab Spear was one of the 4 main gadgets designed to be used anywhere throughout the Briga system. It gave the player the sensation of being very light as if being on the moon, or super heavy as if on Jupiter. This light heavy mechanic offered an empowering feeling of the controls and the potential for some interesting platforming and puzzle gameplay, but production constraints prevented us from being able to give this gadget the love and attention it needed. Incredible. An Agorian statue. Wow. Everything that was cut out from the game is mentioned here. Ooh, I'm just breaking stuff now. Okay, core. Oh, here's something to read. Physics attachment. Our tech department gave us a new tool, the ability to attach objects with physics to each other. The result is more organic than our previous tool, which had us creating an object with the attachment built in. We also had more control over how the object break. What can we find here? There's a teleporter moon. This is an early design for the teleporter moon. The basic concept was to litter the moon with teleporters and force the player to find a correct path to get the reward at the end. Before this design was implemented, there was already concern about being able to orient yourself and find your way across the moons, and the design made that flat even more apparent. Now we had a moon where you didn't know where you were, where you've been, or where you're supposed to go, and there was particularly no visual indicators to help you out. After watching multiple people run off run around in circles, it became painfully obvious that having multiple paths just led to frustration and confusion. So we decided to cut down on the paths and focus more on the gameplay aspect of the moon. Oops. Nice. Yeah, this was a little weird. Okay, back to installing museum. Hey, the first ship. The first carrier, I mean, is a large ship that launches waves of fighters and bombers to defend an objective. They can dock with the small ships to put up shield for their central dome, which acts as a weak point and a large beam weapon. When the dome is shattered, the ship's brain is revealed and swarms of small enemies will emerge, encircling the carrier and defending it from aphelion. In general, our large capital ship gameplay did not pan out as we hoped, and the destroyers were converted to the Valkyrie boss ship. There were too many issues with attaching a static object in space. Players were constantly ramming into it, getting into position for a run, or struggling to fire at it in a limited amount of time. Head's office. Classic Ratchet. The Ratchet Clank 1 3 version of the Ratchet had 6,912 polygons. His head and hands are a bit larger, which makes him look a little younger. HR. Ah, it's no info. That's that. Must be a Leviathan. Community? Stellar Leviathan. The Stellar Leviathan was the ultimate evolution of the Leviathan from Tools of Destruction. These space-faring creatures would travel in packs like sharks and circle aphelion, using a telekinetic tractor beam to pull it up and jump down on it with a massive bite. We could not get the animation system for the Leviathan going again. He used that procedural animation to undulate his body in Tools of Destruction. We needed the time to get the core space combat working, and therefore had to cut him. fine. The first hypersonic brainwave scrambler. The original version of the hypersonic brainwave scrambler was small and more reminiscent of a certain pesky droid from another galaxy far away. The HBS was so destructive to the great clock that we needed to beef it up to a larger shape. That way it could smash through walls and be a little easier to identify from a distance. Okay. Nothing here. Nothing here. I think I missed this. Yeah, I missed it. Character texturing. The color data for a character would hold up a simple block of color from a distance on every asset. When too much grid and detail is added to the main forms of a character, as the character moves further from camera, it becomes difficult to parse visually. An asset should have distinct first read and second read levels of detail. The different materials, glass, rubber, metal, skin, to be consistent throughout the entire game. This consistency helps unify the look of the universe and add to the toy appeal of the franchise. It also helps to unify the character for making the game more polished. Stay away from too believable for a textured surface. Photo referencing the texture data can cause a break in style. Stylus and hand designed surfaces are far more relative to the franchise. Nice. Oh, I never. Oh. Oh, I can see everyone's style. Everyone of the Gordon style and all the creature style. Okay, see. Oh, what could we be? Kitchen. Popcorn. Pantry. Animation. More shiny. We've vastly improved how our surface handles lighting, specula, highlights the shiny reflection from nearby lights, have a lot more detail and range of brightness and shadow. The tech team really pulled us one off. Now our scales can be slimmer, our robot shinier, and our game looks more polished all around. Fun factor. And of course, let's not forget the fun fact with our characters. Often when a character's personality is described, we lean towards archetypal design, which has been a staple for this franchise. Once in a while, we can take forms that are a direct opposition of the character's trait to allow the personality to be more dramatic. Animal influences. The character aspect of any given character have become more abstract, but like the tech, many of the designs are derivative of surface and form qualities of animals. The endless number of patterns, rhythms, and anatomical structures can add to the sense of believability. This idea of believability is hugely subjective and should be stretched as far as it can go. The question to ask about any asset, can I imagine that working? From pencil to computer, all these characters are described in a 3D world while still maintaining the quality of a 2D world. Most of the deciding fact for having the clarity of a 2D design is whether the silhouettes are clear, whether the internal details are easy to parse visually both from afar and from a closer viewpoint, and if the overall mood or personality of the asset can be read accurately on the first read. One great aspect of the design is seeing the oppositional forms between two relative characters. Even with the contrast between the characters maintain a unified style and look, which keeps them grounded in the same world or universe in RCF's case. A sci-fi B-movie style. Dr. Nefarious and his gang of robots have invaded the Brigus star system, hoping to create a new dystopia where the villains rule the universe. With him, Dr. Nefarious has brought a flair for the dramatic and over-the-top B-movie design. Dr. Nefarious and his robotic cohorts prefer presentation and dramatic flair over functional and working designs. Nice. Okay. Just conference room.
Hey there, congratulations on unlocking the behind-the-scenes video for Ratchet Clank Crack in Time. My name is Brian Bernal, I'm the project manager, and we're going to take you around the office now and try to answer the question, who is the Agorian warrior?
When we first set out to create all...
I don't want to get I want to get in trouble. Actually, I'm getting in trouble, sorry. Angela conference room. I think it's about Angela Cross. Vulnerable? We always want to give Ratchet some more acrobatic moves to highlight the Lomac's animal nature. One idea was given him a series of climbing and swinging moves of climb vertical and horizontal pulse in the environment, pipes, scaffoldings, etc. With the amount of custom animation required for what was basically a complex jumping puzzle, we decided to cut all of Ratchet's pole moves. Seriously? Hoverboard track. A hoverboard racetrack was one of the major features of Agorian Battle. Like we had races in some of the past Ratchet Clank games, but we decided we haven't had any in a while, and it seemed like a good game to try. A good time to give it another go. A hoverboard were shaping up to be fun mechanic, but it's quietly became clear that getting the race up to the standard of the rest of the game was akin to making another fully featured game on top of Ratchet Clank RCF2. What's featured here are a few variations of our existing track with a simple version of Asma hovering along a path. A showdown and speed based on how far he is from the player, but you're really just racing the clock and trying to stay out of his way. It's a shame that this was never inside in the main game. No. He's catching up now. Come on! There we go. Oh, I won! Nice. Let's try the other one. Oh, it's just a ring challenge then. There should have been the challenge. Well, it doesn't look like it has a... Doesn't look like it has a finishing line. Oh, that's like... No! Yeah. I think why this was never released in the game. Okay, I can't. It's almost impossible to catch the last one. Okay, let's continue. Oh, that's where I was. IT? Where are we now? Procedural arena. The procedurally generated arena is a virtually set of platforming obstacles originally intended as one of the Battleplex lobby games. When activated, the generator would produce a series of platforms and hazards for Ratchet to traverse in a timed challenge. The player would also get a number for the challenge, and if they liked it, they would enter that number into the generator to play it again. Excuse me. The number could also be sent to a friend for them to try out. Ultimately, there were too many potential testing, lightning and generation issue with the huge number of possible combinations, so we decided to cut the generator from the game. So I was supposed to go there. Oops. So I got a shortcut. Nice, I got a shortcut too. Okay, let's go to the next one. Just something I haven't seen. Gameplay, huh? Level design. There are core principles behind the level design of Ratchet & Clank, an emphasis on fun, not realism or simulation. Worlds are highly saturated with color, a sense of exploration, adventure, and wonder. Fun cartoon violence combat, non-realistic. The key to successful level design is the interviewing of gameplay mechanics and grounding the player in the fiction of the world. As a designer, we must seek to create a perfect synergy between the two. Creative. Gameplay philosophy. In this game we will consider the following. Strong primarily gameplay in the forms of multiple mission and goal and emphasis exploration in addition to platforming and combat. Integrating the story and gameplay to provide a supporting fiction for the reuse space and making the environment feel more meaningful. Compelling secondary gameplay in the form of optional mission, secrets and rewards that take Ratchet to the corners of each map, layouts that allows where possible, Ratchet to tackle objectives in any order or from multiple different angles. Effects. We got a time slot. I swear time is slowed. Right here. Design theory. Fundamentally, a Ratchet level can be thought as an exploration of a sci-fi world that is densely packed with a varied of fun, interactions, and mechanics uses. These activate themselves are separated out into what we refer to as setups, and each its own micro-story and of things conspiring to obstruct Ratchet's progress before they are overcome by the player. These obstacles can be things such as enemies that are trying to defeat Ratchet, navigational problems, or simple puzzles that must be solved. Each of the setups should be treated as its own little micro game that should be interesting, fun, and provide the right amount of difficulty and challenge. They should vary the mid-pacing, dangers involved, and what skills and techniques are needed to successfully overcome them. Alright. Since I got this, the Omnisoke, there should be some Tetramites here somewhere. Audio. Rocket Ride to Oblivion. The end of the first trip to Vorslon ship originally involved traversing an escape rocket hurtling through space with Vorslon in a nose cone. The player would start at the bottom and have to negotiate a gravity boot and prepare with obstacles. The hook here was that the rocket was dropped section of starting from the bottom, or just like a multi-booster rocket. The player would reach the nose cone and Vorslon would escape. After several iterations, we learned that the amount of time and work needed to polish this segment would bleed into too many important aspects of the game. Sadly, this rocket ended up going nowhere. A TV. Oh, I mean a radio or something. Oh, there's where the Tetramis has to bite. I wonder what the Tetramis are. Burn them, huh? Animation room. All suits. Upgradable armor. When you can buy and wear any type of armor before pre-rendered, and I say we have to render a different version of each armor, or the game, or the cutscene won't match what he's wearing when you go back into the game. If you play previous Ratchet games, you may notice that Ratchet does not appear in any of the pre-rendered cutscene. In-game cutscene work because we can do a check on which armor you bought, displayed it in the scene. In this game, we wanted our pre-rendered cinematic to help tell the story and make it more personal. Our solution was to give Ratchet special armor that he can deactivate before a pre-render cutscene. This allows you to upgrade your armor and still see Ratchet's sensitive side up close and personal. Yeah. Yeah, playing video games, nice. Hey, looks like there's original design. Proto Ratchet. When we just started, out on Ratchet Clank Future Tools of Structure, we had the plan to use a new concept processing power to create a more detailed model of Ratchet that would have more human facial feature and expression. We went with this concept for a while before thinking, you know what? That's not Ratchet anymore. The model was changed to a higher resolution in the style of the classic Ratchet. Made more sense. Rigging. Rigging is a process of adding joint to an object and setting up to use one of our gameplay classes. Classes determine how an object behaves in a game. We have enemy classes, destructible classes, and many more. One type of the class is a wrench grapple platform. By rigging up joints in a specific way and using this class, we can create a platform that Ratchet can move along a pad in 3 dimensions and so forth. Wowzers! Tools of destruction. A big part of Ratchet is blowing stuff up. We can design an object to break apart, create a new object, or shatter it in a unique and interesting way. This strain, weight, and force of explosion can be modified to get the right feeling. QA. Art. Building stuff that works, sort of. When it comes to showing functionality, many of the most successful joints in our articulation system come from actual machinery. This allows an exaggerated and outlandish design to be grounded and provides a classic of plausible dishelp. It's how to play, suspend disbelief, and remain immersed. Implausible functional ultimately, so yeah, right, or that could never happen. Even though they just flew a spaceship through the solar system to get that enemy segment. Oh, I can go outside. Yeah, let's just go inside again. I want to check here first. Okay, let's go inside. What could a Tethermice be? Oh, I've never been here. The epic fairy tale style. The breeze is a mysterious and enchanted place. The time behaves strangely and there are many bizarre phenomena. It is home to the Zoni, a race that once worshipped and now thought to be mythological. It's a section of the galaxy that feels both beautiful and haunted. The worlds are overgrown. Alien vegetation grows rapidly and has invaded the architecture, taking over many structures. The worlds have both artifacts created by ancient Zoni worshippers and ethereal technology constructed by the Zoni. There's a romantic beauty to these worlds. Streams of sunlight, puffy clouds, rolling hills, and golden sunsets can be found. There are also haunted woods, gnarled trees, and spooky mists that give some location an eerie and mysterious tone. Oh wait, there they are. There's Tethermites were featured based on similar flying swarm enemy from Resistance 2. We adapt them to crawl along the ground and eat Briga's nectar or anything else that got in their way. We're always looking for ways to create new kind of creatures that are part of the environment instead of just an enemy plopped down in a spot for no reason. Hazard that makes creature use of our gadget to add to the puzzle element in Ratchet and make gameplay more diverse. Come on! I have to guide the Tethermice here. Come on. There we go. Is that Crow Canyon? Yeah, this looks like Crow Canyon a little bit. But a bit different. Vola Settlement. After saving Crow Canyon from Agora invasion, we wanted the player to be able to interact with the townsfolk they had saved and open up some optional collection quests. The area at the top of the canyon was fully completed, but we ran into problem with the levelable memory. There's just too much stuff in Crow Canyon, and after a while the game started crying real tears trying to make it run. We had spent a lot of time in the battlefield and decided to simplify the area to get the level running. Some of the things we planned included hover boost chase for a Zoni, a Tethermite puzzle, and an optional mission to put out the fires for the Vola. There's no wonder this was never here. Hydroid. This little guy used to be in a low few level. He's an animal version of the Hydroid plant, and the player could pick up. The player could pick him up and carry him around the new area that's requiring big dawn. Unfortunately, this meant the player could lug him all over the level and jump out of the world. Even though we all found him hilarious, we had to downgrade him from endangered species to extinct species. Ah, it's a wonder. Need some oil. That's for the oil. For this. But how am I gonna get there? Let me try again. I'm gonna try again. Kidding me? Better. There we go. Wait, it's not oils I know. Weird. Oops, I forgot to read it, saying that. Sorry. Why did it work last but not now? No. No. There we go. OmniSocket functionality. The OmniSocket started with 5 different fill options and was much bigger than part of the design. In addition to water, oil, and nectar, the 3 fills that made it into the game. We also plan on lava and gelatonium and tools of destruction. We introduced in tools of destruction we introduced gelatonium, a spring and gelatonious fuel. Gelatonious fuel also used as a robotic platform. Excuse me. And also, we were planning to use the different effects of each subset in different combination. We really didn't need the gelatonium for big jumps. We had catapults and hydroplanes for that, and putting down Get Anywhere would lead to players jumping out of the level. That seemed a bit unnecessary. Ratchet already had a ton of weapons to damage enemies with, and for burning through blocking off. Objects that Tetramice controlled by Nectar were more fun and ratchety. There you go. Alright. It's out of range. I think it's gonna be more complicated now. Oh, it works. Okay, let's try again.
Ugh.
Oh dear.
Ugh.
Seriously? Serious. Come on! Oh! Okay, I'll only try one more time. If I fail, I'll give up. This is too complicated.
Ugh.
Where's that swing?
Ugh.
Oh, I guess I made it after all. Wrench Tether. We tried out the wrench tether in our downloadable game, Ratchet Clank Future Quest for Booty, but always wanted to do more than static bolt screw when attaching the head of the wrench let us interact with object from afar. Ratchet could now move things into place, pull bolts out of the object to make the collapse, and perform a variety of non-combat actions. It's incredible. Check out one more time here. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Guess I'll save the game and I'll end the final part. So before I do end it, I forgot to mention something. Let's check. I still have very few more skill points to get. That's Monkey Dance, Friend of Fred, and Champion Baller. Which is a dance. Monkey Dance is get 8 monkeys to dance simultaneously. See, Friend of Fred, defeat 10 enemies with a single shot of the Rift Inducer, 5,000. And Champion Bowler, defeat 10 enemies with 1 Dynamo. Yeah, these are the only skill points I have left now. We have so I'm gonna get them once again. I'm gonna gather them at the challenge mode. And here's another thing I should show you too: my trophies as well. Oh, you already have almost all of them now. Just missing. Complete the challenge while playthrough. So yeah, I guess I have only 1 more trophies to gather now. 91. So yes, just a challenge mode playthrough, and then I'll complete all of the trophies. And all the last 3 skill points, then I will 100% the game. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in challenge mode. Dragon 429 out.